Hey guys, I'm in Tucson, Arizona this week, walking these roads in the middle of the desert, trying to track down some of the locations to one of my favorite 80s movies, The Wraith. So hopefully I'm going to find some, and I'm going to share them with you guys. So this is it. This is the opening scene to the movie. This is where the guy's driving up in that white Dodge Daytona. It's a long lens shot, basically from a little further up the road. And you can see these poles in it. You can see how this road goes straight and then it curves a little bit. This is definitely the road. Now it's only used in the movie once, but it's pretty cool to see it. And it's on Mile Wide Road, which is just outside of Tucson Mountain. So it's pretty cool. All right, so this is the road that's in the beginning where Jake drives down on the motorcycle. Where he comes down and the road's like really wavy and he disappears for a second, pops back up. This is the road. It's Sandario Road or Sandario Drive. I think it's Sandario Road. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This is also, there's a scene where Loomis is, when he's chasing the Wraith, when the cops are chasing the Wraith, Wraith comes up, kind of disappears, and there's some crazy movie magic, but that all takes place right here, just outside of Tucson, actually just over from Tucson Mountain and Gates Pass is just over there.
Still way to Crawford Dam?
Uh-huh.
So this is Carrie's house. I'm not going to get too close because of the people. I want to respect the people who live here, but it looks pretty much the same, except for no more white picket fence.
Hey, I'll show you the way.
Hop on.
Okay.
I'm Jake Kesey.
I'm Carrie Johnson.
Hi.
Oh, great.
Hey, bud.
I can't ride.
Boyfriend?
No way.
And this is right where Jake meets her.
Carrie, get in.
So Packard's Corvette pulls up basically right up here. Again, this was at some point a parking lot. They get out of the car, they walk across, they actually climb over this wall.
You think you own me? That somehow I'm your private property?
You are. Nobody loves you as much as I do. Minty, give me a light. Here you go.
All right, so this is the other side of the beach where Carrie and Packard were hanging out. This is everybody, all the kids were on this rock. They make it look a heck of a lot bigger than it is. In the movie, you can go back, you can see, I'll show it still. You can see this odd-shaped orange kind of color where it kind of comes out to a point. And that's where one of Packard's buddies is laying. He's laying right here with his girl. So Carrie basically sets up right here, and Packard is right there. Billy and Jake were right over there. So in the movie, when Jake is looking across at Carrie and Carrie's looking across at Jake, it's right there. It's maybe it's maybe like 25 feet, 30 feet at the most, which is pretty funny. So So this is where Billy and Jake are laying. You'll see how tight it is, and actually their feet are under this rock. It's really funny. And they're actually sitting really close together and probably very uncomfortable because this is just, it's curved like crazy. You can see how curved it is, and they were basically acting and pretending to be comfortable lying out there.
Jake, I'm Billy Hankins. I work over at Big K's, slinging burgers. Listen, you ever need a burger in Brooks, you call me, okay?
So when Jake is laying here, he's looking straight across at Carrie and Packard, and they're laying right there. Like it's no more than maybe 30 feet. It's movie magic.
Girls, okay? Kid laying around the rocks, he hardly got any clothes on. Jesus, what? This shit's got some kick.
So when the boys pull up in the CUDA and Packard goes in and sits in the car with them, they're parked basically right here. So when they're looking out the window, they're looking to their right. They can see Jake's motorbike, and they can see Jake laying. Of course, it's all brushed now, but they can see Jake laying on the rock there.
See that guy over there? The one with Billy Hankins?
What about him?
Drives that motorbike over there.
So Jake's motorbike was parked right here. You can kind of easily tell because of the way these rocks are. There's the squarish rock, the white rock, with a little tiny gray rock in there, big round rock. You can see these three bigger rocks with the gap in the middle. This is right where his bike was parked. Alright, so when Carrie starts to float down the river, there's a shot where basically she's right in this area. You can line it up with, in the background you'll see this this rock. It's orange on top, and it curves around like a 90-degree angle and continues down. There's some other big rocks here. You can also see that it's like a gray rock, and then there's a big break, and then it's more of like an orange rock. So this is definitely the area. She was right here.
It's a nice day, huh?
This water's a bit chilly for my taste.
All right, so this is the scene. This is where they're talking. I mean, there's a lot more water here, so it's hard to tell. But I would say there's probably 2 feet more water than there was in the movie. But they're basically right in this area. This whole area has changed a lot in the last 10 years. They had a horrible, horrible storm that came through. The water came through and destroyed all of this. Changed a lot of the landscape.
There's work.
Big K's Burgers.
Big K's Burgers.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So this is the old location of Big K's Burgers, which is long gone. That building has been gone for many, many years. In the movie, when they're hanging out in the parking lot and the Wraith comes by and they all look across the street, it's not really here. If you look, there's no mountains, and it's a different scene. That was probably filmed somewhere over by old Tucson studios or something like that, but that's just movie magic. they basically just filmed this side of the road where Big K's was, and then across, obviously you can see that hotel, and I'll go over there in a second, but the palm trees are still there. Now there's a lot of misconception, there's a lot of opinions as to what that building was before and after the movie. The director said that it was a beauty parlor, it was like a hairdressing place, and they transformed it to a restaurant for the movie, and then as soon as the movie was over, they transformed it back to a hair place. And I don't know what happened to it then. I mean, there's no pictures of it online at all as far as it being anything. So this is the hotel that's across the street. And the one scene, Packard's Corvette is basically sitting right in here, right in between these two palm trees. So it's kind of cool that it's still here. It looks like it's been closed for a long time, but yeah, this is it. And his view over to Big K's would have been pretty much, it's like a 45-degree angle where Big K's was. So straight, almost where that white trailer is where the building was. But that's all that's left. Pretty cool that the palm trees are still here though. So I'm at the crash site of Augie Fisher's red Dodge Daytona. This is on the Catalina Highway. There's a certain shot in that scene where you can actually see the crew members that are hanging out right next to that. There's that wall right there. And you can kind of see them. It's probably safety crew and whoever, stunt crew. But the car basically comes down off the side here, comes down like this, and then they launch it right about here, and then it just tumbles down and lands near some saguaro cactus down there. So I might have to hike down there. I would assume that probably, if not, I would assume that probably nobody has been down there since the movie for the cleanup, because there's really no reason to go down there, and also it's pretty treacherous getting down there. But if you love that movie and you're stupid like me, you know, maybe those people have gone down there. But I might have to go down there and see if there's anything left behind, any little memorabilia, any parts to that Dodge Daytona. And just a little bit more information: when the cops come around that bend after Augie crashes, this is the bend they come around. You can see those rocks behind the guardrail. They come down and they park right here, which is just a very short distance from where the car actually went off the road. So I'm about halfway down this cliffside here, and there are actually car parts everywhere. Random car parts, pieces of whatever. Nothing that I can recognize as being from a Dodge Daytona yet. But all right, check this out. It's a radio. I have no idea. Pretty awesome if it was a Chrysler radio. Let's see. Audio box. Has the ID number on it. Maybe we could do some research on that. Here's a seat buckle, I think, or seatbelt buckle. I don't know. That's a Dodge. Doesn't say anything Dodge Chrysler, but. So this is kind of the view from maybe it's a little extreme, but this is kind of the view from the one camera. So this is what I believe to be a burned out heater core, or part of a radiator that looks like it was definitely burned. So can maybe assume that that was from the Daytona. All right, I made it back up, and I didn't find anything that could be a definitive piece of the Daytona, but it was so cool being down there and seeing that point of view, and then also seeing there's some really old car parts down there, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, a little bit of a fail on that one, but had to try.
Got us all. Let's cruise.
Yo, gutter boy.
What, Skank?
That's a jam.
Yo, Ruggs.
This is where Sheriff Loomis has the kids pulled over, and they're all parked right here. This is right after Augie Fisher is killed in the first race, and you can see the rock formations in the background. This is up on top of Mount Lemmon. This is really cool up here. This is an incredible, incredible area to drive around. There's a ton of these type of rock formations. You can line them up, and you can line them up, and you can see that it's definitely the one from the movie. Also in the shot, you can see this rock. It's changed a little bit. I think it looks like probably somebody hit it because this the end is all chipped out. I think at the time of the movie there was no guardrails either, which is pretty insane because the drop-off is quite significant here. Also in the movie, when you see the Wraith standing up on the rocks, that's not here. That was actually an afterthought. It was filmed out in California somewhere, so unfortunately that is not here.
So if any of you guys are planning on taking a vacation in the next few days, you can just forget it. I'll be visiting you again. With warrants, Mr. Attorney.
So this is the hill that all the cars drive up. This is when they're at the at Big K's, and the Wraith leaves a note on Packard's car, and then they say he's on Lookout Mountain Point, or Lookout Mountain Road. This is where they drive up. They drive up this road. They come right up here, and then they park right alongside all right here. And you can see in the background, you can line up those mountains. There's that really pointy mountain there. A lot of this has overgrown a little bit, but that's where this is. My guess is the camera was built up on some sort of a platform or something. But they come right up here, and then this is where they line up. They line up all right here. This is the race when the Trans Am races him.
You lose! You lose your car! You got that? Ready! Set!
Rughead, get him up!
It's the race scenes are never true in the sense that it's one solid race on one road. They constantly take bits and pieces from other filming and put them all together, make like a patchwork of a race. So this is most likely the airplane graveyard that was used in the movie. It's next to the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. And a lot of people think that it was filmed in there because they have a gigantic airplane graveyard there. But I think the movie was actually filmed in this one, which is it's a smaller independent one. I just feel like that would be a more obvious approach from a movie standpoint rather than actually being in the military base like that. And I just feel like this, it's more set up for this. It looks more like the movie where things are kind of scattered around, haphazardly placed, where the one in the Air Force Base is perfect. Everything's lined up exactly perfect. It's really beautiful, but it doesn't look anything like the movie. So it does have that same kind of look. It definitely resembles what was used in the movie. So that's my guess, that it was the small independent one.
Red?
Yeah.
Loomis here.
Hey, Loomis.
Oh, this is a real strange place you got here. Really unique in its depressing qualities, huh?
All right, so this is the angle that you see in the movie. So there's a ton of water right now. In the movie, obviously, there wasn't this much water. It's actually flowing over the top, flowing down. So it might not look exactly like it did, but this is definitely a bridge. And I've been looking around for the actual spot where they're actually sitting in the water and they kiss. And it's really hard to find it because, like I said earlier in the video, they had a pretty crazy flood here. A lot of this has changed. Rocks were moved around. Part of the earth gave out in places, so it's really hard to line it up. But I think that it was right here. And this water could have been a lot deeper or a lot shallower, but it's the only place that I can find that's right in the vicinity of everything else. And it's also, it kind of looks, it's the same kind of style rocks. It's a little pool by itself. So if you have any idea or a better idea of if this isn't it, where it is, and by all means leave me a comment and I would be glad to come back and check it out. I'd love to do that. But and if you want to come up and search for yourself, Sabino Canyon, get on the tram and go up to Stop 8 way up in the mountains here. And it's called Anderson Dam. And this is where it is. It's just to the right of Anderson Dam. Pretty easy to find. Maybe I'll be tricky and walk up here. Real estate. Oh, it's not that bad.
Come on, hurry!
So this is the 6th Avenue Bridge. And there's a lot of opinions and speculation that maybe it was the 4th Avenue Bridge. There's 2 bridges right here. One is the 4th Avenue Bridge and one is the 6th Avenue Bridge. This is the 6th Avenue Bridge, and I believe this is the one that they used. Both bridges have been redone, so it's kind of hard to tell. But the difference is on the 6th Avenue Bridge, this wall that separates traffic is solid. You cannot see the oncoming traffic coming the other way. On the 4th Avenue Bridge, it's open. It's held up by pillars in between. So in the movie, when Skank and Gutter Boy are chasing Carrie and Jake, you can see to the left of them, you can see that it's a solid wall. So they're definitely in the 6th Avenue Bridge. A lot of people think it's the 4th Avenue Bridge coming up to it, because if you look closely, it kind of looks like there's pillars. It looks like it's open in the middle. But if you freeze it and you zoom in, I think what it is it's just the lights, these lights, which have now been redone. The older lights, the way the light shines down makes it look like there are pillars. So again, that's a lot of different opinions out there. That's just my opinion. So this was Packard's garage. A lot of this has changed in the last 30 years or whatever, but it's you can kind of line it up with the rocks, with the mountain here, or the hill. You can see actually, so this may be a little bit easier to tell. It's a better position here. You can see the main mountain crest on the top, and then there's like that lower one that kind of has a gradual lift, and then there's a bunch of big boulders at the end. So that driveway went right by there, and the garage was pretty much right up there. The driveway that exists now, I don't think is the original one. I think the original one was more kind of at an angle, kind of came down like this, past where these RVs are parked, and went down gradually to flat ground there. Lots have changed. I think that this is the existing area of where that truck crash scene was. I'm almost positive that this used to be a road here, because it dead ends on either side, maybe a few miles apart, where you can clearly see the road used to go through. This long, swooping, this long mountain that kind of gradually goes up and then has like a spike at the top. The truck was driving in that direction, kind of like on the side, kind of like how this bike path goes. Over here, it's hard to see because the highway's in the way and there's signs in the way, but those mountains, those triangular mountains, that's in the shot, that's in the background. You can see these high tension wires. You can see the factory. If you watch closely, you can see the smokestack in the background. So I'm assuming that it was here. And like I said, this used to be a road. So, you know, it's really hard to line up other than that because so much has changed. If you have a better idea or if you know, definitely leave me a comment because I would love to know where it actually was. But I drove all over Tucson for 3 days looking for this spot, and this is the best that I can do. So unfortunately, it's my opinion that, like many of the other Wraith movie scenes, this one is now gone as well. Alright, so this is the very spot where Packard's Corvette crashes into the Wraith and blows up. It was right here. I was filming from kind of off the road a little bit, maybe 10 feet or so off the road, and you can line it up with the mountains. Check out these mountains. It's the same mountains in the shot, so I know that's the right spot. He comes around the corner, comes up that little hill, and they crash right about here. So that's pretty cool. Oh, what an idiot I am. This went right through into my foot. Oh, God. How do I get this off? Dude, I swear to God, dude. I can't even take my shoe off because it's through the shoe into my foot. You see that red? That's from being inside my skin. Oh, I gotta go get a tool or something. Oh, I got it out. That was painful. So you may recognize this bridge. This is the bridge where when the Wraith is being chased by the two cops, comes down that hill, comes over this bridge, and the other cops are right in here, but they're kind of parked, blocking the road so the Wraith can't get by.
Watch your speed, slow it down, Murphy. Let him go. Roger, I got you. All right, we got him now. We got the back door, over.
They show the police officers parked here and here, and they're blocking the bridge. And Loomis is kind of standing right there, and much like this car is coming down the road now, if you can see, the Wraith comes down this hill being chased by the two cops and stops basically in the center of the bridge, and then they think they have him trapped, and then he blasts through and keeps on going. Over here in the bushes is a fender from a car, and it's a green fender. Now, how many green cars are there out there? So it's right there. I'm not going any closer to it because there's a beehive right there. And if you know anything about Arizona, you know that most of the bees in Arizona are Africanized killer bees, and I'm not going anywhere near that. I see them buzzing around there, but if you want to come over here and brave those bees and see if that's the real fender, that could be really cool though. Very cool relic from the movie. But anyway, this is the bridge. And coincidentally, it's also the bridge that's featured in the beginning of the movie when the ball of light is traveling through underneath that bridge. This is the bridge too. I visited it yesterday, and I'll insert that clip right now. This is also the bridge that's used in the very beginning of the movie, where it shows the ball of light come through underneath the bridge. That's the bridge, and that's the train bridge. That's pretty interesting. So I'm up here on the rocks that are above that scene when Loomis is interviewing the gang after Augie Fisher dies. And although this is not in the movie at all, I still wanted to come up here and show you guys how amazing these rocks are. These things are huge, huge towers. It looks like you're on a different planet almost when you're up here. So these rocks are located on the Catalina Highway, which is where a lot of the scenes, the race scenes, were shot. A lot of them were also shot at Tucson Mountain, where I was as well. But if you're going to be in Tucson and checking out the Wraith scenes, definitely come up to the Catalina Highway, drive the highway. It's amazing to see, and you got to check out these rocks as well. So that's it for my Wraith filming locations video. I had a blast making it. It was a little difficult at times. I got pricked by cacti and ran from killer bees and questioned by local sheriffs, and it was crazy, but it was worth it. I found whatever I could find. It's been 30 years, so unfortunately some of these scenes are gone forever. So make sure you follow me along on my journey. I'm traveling all over the country, checking out awesome places, filming locations, whatever I think is cool. And follow me on Instagram if you have it, Mobile Instinct. And I'll see you on the next adventure.